Greetings Internet, DDA here, and welcome to another deck profile video that we have from the East Kai 2018 tournament. I have with me today my friend Azarith, who's going to be walking us through a profile of his top 8 oppressive Drawku list. This list is extremely powerful, and if I had to describe it to someone, I would just say that he took Drawku and he put in a lot of good cards, and then he just owns the opponent with the ultimate damage of Drawku and the advantage in tempo that the Oppressive Mastery gives you. So without further ado, I'll let Azarith take it away on his Oppressive Drawku.
Hey, what's up, guys? So yeah, like Didier said, I pretty much took Drawku and added in a style that I'm really comfortable with, and then put all the best cards from that style in that list.
There you go.
Because what does Drawku level 4 do? Utilize all the best cards and use them a lot.
Yep, of course, and we know everyone is fully familiar with the Drawku level 4. Nice Dragon Rare there.
Yeah.
So you're just playing all the classic levels of Drawku here? Did you consider any other levels of Goku?
Not for this list. I have another Oppressive Goku that used the Drill level 4, but this deck is all about getting to level 4, using the mods to really overwhelm your opponent, and then being able to toolbox any card that you need. The -2 mod is actually the biggest thing that drew me to Drawku for this list, because I wanted to combo it with Saiyan Protection Drill, so that you were -1 stage, -3 life to everything, and then with the amount of endurance in the deck has another full deck of endurance, so 60 endurance, with the ability to rejuvenate endurance, and the amount of rejuvenation this deck does, you get to cycle a lot and reuse a lot of your key cards. So going with our planning phase, like 2 visits, run 2 visits. Like, there's no reason not to. You're aggro, but you're still like tempo enough that offensively visiting is still really strong, especially the combination that you can pull off with Saiyan Transformation Drill.
Yeah, you got that +1 card, and so you can fall back on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the combo with Transformation Drill is really good, which we'll get into in a second.
1 pregame, still wish I could run it as 3 of. My heart broke when that got restricted, because I thought the fair Saiyan decks didn't abuse it like some of the other ones. Saiyan Peace, this is probably on my chopping block. It didn't really help me at all yesterday, because when I needed it, I didn't see it because it's a 1-of. But the purpose of it was to be able to use it against MPPV decks, to bounce them down, Goku 4, get it back, put it back into play, bounce them down again. But I want to cut it for a third of another card that we'll get into later with Severing Punch.
Yep.
Running 4 drills that I think a lot of people sleep on. Mainly this drill, Saiyan Corruption Drill. This card is insane. The fact that, 1, it turns Kaio-Ken into a mill 2 instead of a mill 3, and it turns your AKs and Sinister Chokes into skips.
Yeah, the AK Sinister Choke skip. The AK especially is just nasty, because you could even just enter and open with that and just chain.
Yep.
It's just super good.
And then it gains 2 stages. Like, when you activate it, you get 2 stages. So you get 2 stages, you get a skip, so you can get Anger or more stages. It's really hard to stage lock this deck, because of the mastery with the skip being able to get stages back.
Definitely.
Overpowering Aura Drill is an attachment accelerator for this deck. Also, we rejuve a lot in combat, so we have a lot of anger control as far as that goes.
Definitely.
Transformation Drill, wow. The original idea for the drill that I wanted in here, I'm like, oh, well, it's good against orange because you can bounce all their drills back to their hand. But then I'm like, wait, I can bounce my drills back to my hand, then activate Oppressive Mastery, draw a card, and have a free discard with that drill. So that's like, I was like, oh, okay. And then yesterday I was able to pull off, you bounce 2 drills with that, I was able to visit for whatever card I wanted, put 1 of the drills to the bottom, and then draw a card off of Mastery, discard the other drill. So now I have a 7-card hand that is exactly what I want it to be.
Yeah, very, very strong combos with that card.
And then it doesn't go away when you level, and its power is Rejuve 1, so it fits the theme of the deck. And then Protection Drill is probably one of the best drills.
One of the best drills in the game, for sure.
Yeah, -1, and then whenever you use Endurance, it's a power that you can then rejuvenate it.
It just makes you live forever.
Yeah, and especially the combo with Turning Kick, of being able to banish Turning Kick for Endurance, get Protection Drill, activate Protection Drill, and put Turning Kick back in your deck.
Yep.
So strong.
Extremely.
So I think a lot of people sleep on Saiyan drills, and I think people need to go back, and who are building Saiyan, go back and look at some of the drills, because they are very, very powerful effects.
Yep. And that's actually what you based your sword coup on.
Yep. Was drills.
So this was the second version of your oppressive Drawku list that you've been working with. So you can see the influence over how powerful you feel the Saiyan drills are, because you don't particularly need Saiyan drills in this list, but it just works because not only are they powerful, but you also have this card down here.
Yeah, Saiyan actually has really good tutor for drills too. It has turning kick, which activates reactively, and then you have aerial attack that can get them proactively.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of ways of getting your drills out or back because you're leveling, so you want to be able to get them back.
Nice, good job.
Running 8 hard blocks and then 2 omni blocks and 1 time. Obviously, we're going to run the skip blocks. We're oppressive mastery, and even if you're not oppressive mastery, you run the skip blocks because being able to take 2 actions uninterrupted is very, very strong. Plus, they have 2 endurance.
Yeah.
1 parry. The reason for 1 parry was for on level 4 against physical beat stacks, you can cycle it, just getting a double block every combat. Really good because you're generally going to be higher than everybody. And then 1 crouch because it's an unleashed target. And once you're on 4, having a PUR of 8 as an energy beat stack, real good.
Yeah, for sure.
And then time.
Yep, and time we got Saiyan Scouting as a 1-of.
Yeah, 1 of Saiyan Scouting. So if nothing else, this card has 4 endurance.
Yeah, if nothing else.
But the ability to set up a pseudo time loop on level 4, where you can scouting to put time and sphere back on top, and then you can Goku for it back in the next combat and put time sphere back on top.
Yeah.
Just, it puts your opponent in a position that Black Krillin used to put them in with Ball 7. Yeah. Only you then have the ability to just throw a lot of heat. And then Strength Test, Rescue, typical Saiyan attach packages. Saiyan Strength Test mainly because Namekian is starting to see more play, and I think there's not enough discard pile manipulation, especially not in this list because I'm not running like Dev Blows or anything like that.
Blue uses the discard pile a lot
with
too.
decaps, yeah. So being able
the stylish poses that are everywhere now.
Yeah. So being able to just slowly discard from the bottom of the discard pile is very nice. Was really good against Amplified Cooler because of relaxations. I was able to set up what he was going to draw.
There you go.
And then Rescue just gives me more targeted rejuve in combat, which is real good. Drive By was a last minute addition. I cut Saiyan Face Off for Drive By, and I have no regrets at all. The passive mill, because you can control your anger, so you can mill anywhere from 1 to 4, and then being able to stack 1. The original idea was stacking Turning Kick, so that you can then banish it for Protection Drill and then rejuve it, and then you still get 2 cards back in your deck on top of milling. But then being able, I'm like, wait, it doesn't have to have endurance. It can be any card.
Yeah, time.
I could stack time. What I did against Didier twice, actually, was I stacked Unleashed going into my turn.
Yeah.
So I was able to set up to make sure I have an Unleashed for the next turn.
Yep.
Then the typical Goku package: 3 Unleashed, 3 spheres, 2 Kaio-Kens.
Yeah.
The 3 spheres is because 1, you need to be able to battle the opposing Unleashed, and 2, there's so many powerful events right now.
Yeah.
And you need to protect your Unleashed. Like, having 3 spheres in the deck was huge for me yesterday because I never once had an Unleashed sphered.
Well, I sphered your Unleashed, but you sphered my sphere.
I sphered your sphere.
Yeah. See, there you go, right there.
Yeah, and you can play the game on any level. Like, you're okay with that, but the deck really starts to hum at level 4, so you need to get there.
Yep. And then you just have the ridiculous gas of the deck, which is just AK, Choke, Expressive Strike, Turn. Like, all this stuff is just money.
Yeah, there's only 1 card in this deck that doesn't... there's 2 attacks in this deck that don't do life cards. So AK is Unstoppable, you're Goku, you're running this card.
Right.
Chokes, there's enough board out there with orange that Unstoppable, Unpreventable, Banish damage for 7 is really good. And then, like I said, those 2 combo really well with Corruption Drill to then force them into skip, where then you can go into a styled attack, which then you can chain again.
Yep.
It's really good. Suppressive Strike, just to shut down time and combat enders, and you're saying it has rejuve too. Like, why not?
Right.
Turning Kick is stupid.
Yeah,
Turning kick is stupid.
So strong.
On level 4, if you have a drill, it's Unpreventable 9.
Yeah.
9 life.
And it makes them skip.
And then you can Goku 4 and get it back. It's just 3 endurance, the drill tutor. Like, there's nothing bad about that card.
Yeah, if you know it's going to hit and you want to kill your opponent, you could Goku 4 for Turning Kick every combat. Just take 9 off the top of their deck.
Yep, I did that in round 4. The first Turning Kick hit, and he had like 6 life cards left. I'm like, you skip Goku 4 for turning kick.
Yeah.
And he's like, I guess I lose.
GG.
Tantrum. Tantrum's really good with Goku. One, it does 8 on level 4. You rejuve 3, so it's a 11 card swing if it hits for clean. Mm-hmm. But then being able to put it back into your deck and Goku 4 it out and have a crit on command is so strong. Mm-hmm. That was huge in a lot of matchups for me. Both being able to tech Anger and tech Dragon Balls was really big. Mm-hmm. Burst, a lot of endurance, 4 Anger swing. Like that's a huge anger card. And then hit, selected style card in your discard power and rejuvenate it. Mm-hmm. Every attack in this deck has base crit potential except for except for like 2 of them. So even if you're like Ox King, you can crit just on base damage alone. Mm-hmm. Aerial attack, more endurance, and it's a drill surgery. So 2 for 4, you're Goku, so it's always going to be able to do at least 5. And search from discard power or life deck for a drill is really good. I did that against Didier. I was able to hit 2 of them clean. Yep. One to get Corruption Drill, then he skipped the second one, which activated Corruption Drill to force a skip into another attack.
Yeah, that's what won you the game. Yep. Mm-hmm. Very, very good. And then, of course, this card is just super strong.
Saiyan Chest Blast. So people will think I'm crazy because it's not a 3 of. My reasoning for that was it's not really good on defense. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want it a 3 of for the higher chance of drawing it on defense. But it's really good on offense. And I was able, again, I felt bad for Didier. I entered combat and I had 2 of them in my hand. And I was like, okay, well, this is
You
good.
just drew the nuts. You had 2 early.
I drew insane.
Yeah, you had 2 early unleashed against me and everything.
Yep. 2 Severing Punches. This is actually where I want to cut Peace for the 3rd, because that card is just way too good against anger decks. Mm-hmm. And if I would have seen one in my top 8, I'm very confident that I would have won, but I didn't, so I lost. But yeah, so reduces all anger down to 1, and then it stops your opponent from de-leveling you or unleashing themselves. So it's really, that card just does a lot in every matchup.
Yep, for sure.
And then my spicy one of tech attacks, Saiyan Dive for your board control, because you don't really care what you're putting in your banner zone that aren't attacks, because you can just Goku them back if you need them. Or once you're on 4, just get rid of your Kaio-Kens, because you won't need them. Tracking Blast for being able to stop your de-leveling, and it's another Unleash target. Every Saiyan deck that runs Unleash should be running Tracking Blast.
Yep.
And then this one I love, Saiyan Destructive Blast.
Did you use this at all in the tournament?
Did.
You did. Awesome.
I did. Round 1, I played against the resourceful Gohan, Bill Bishop, and he had 3 allies out. He had Icarus, Piccolo, and Oolong. And I'm like, can I read Icarus? I read it, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't say anything about this. Destructive Blast, put Piccolo on top of his deck so that he can't stop it, and then banished Icarus, or whatever the next effect is, I can't remember, and then got rid of the other one. I'm like, okay, so I got 3 allies off the board, and now it's doing 6.
Nice.
Yeah, 4 for 1 is really strong. I wanted to do that against one of the ally decks and just sweep their board just to see their face.
Nice job.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
really like that card.
Yeah, I love this list, and I love the one-ofs, obviously, because you're Goku, and you have that tutoring always. Have you ever considered, Overwhelming Power? Have you ever considered that?
I did, but I felt like whatever I'm doing with Overwhelming Power, I can do with other attacks that are also progressing my win condition, where, like, the crit on command, I can use Tantrum instead and still have an attack on board. Mm-hmm. Or if I needed the board control, I can have Dive, which permanently deals with it instead of just destroying it. Okay. It also doesn't have a condition that I have to be stronger, so if I am up against a physical beats deck that utilizes board, there may be a chance where I can't activate Overwhelming Power.
Yeah, and also Overwhelming Power can be sphered, and Dive actually does decent damage.
Yeah, it does 5 life cards at least if you go on level 1.
Mm-hmm. All right, so, just as kind of a wrap-up to the video, why don't you just give me a brief overview of how you kind of go into games and how you progress this deck's win condition?
So, the main thing you want to go into every game is identifying what you're going to really need to focus on as far as, like, what blocks you need to focus on. That's the same as, like, any matchup. The best thing to do is Goku 1 and then Mastery, because you need to fish for early Unleashed, and you don't really care that you're burning through your deck a bit more, because you're just going to be able to rejuve it. Setting up the bottom of your discard piles with your Mastery is really strong into Goku 2 and 3. And never, ever, ever get greedy. Don't try to jump from 2 to 3, then 3 to 4 if you can go right to 4. Don't get greedy with this deck. The 4 will do enough for you. You don't need it.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing I can say. And I made one big misplay against Dan, the Enlightened Gohan, where I got greedy and I went for the skip physical block instead of the parry, and because I felt I needed the stages, because I wanted to play AK, and then I resigned to not playing the AK after I had gotten the block. So if I would have gone for the parry, I probably could have lived and brought that game a bit closer. So just that's the big thing, is just take it slow. This game, while this deck can burst out damage real hard, it can play a really, really strong long game just with its rejuvenation. So utilize that, lean on that hard, and it'll get you there.
Awesome. All right, just as a final question for you, why don't you just give me your favorite thing about the deck, or what you might most like about it?
So my favorite thing about the deck is that it's in every game. I never felt blown out of a game, except for I played Josh last night, and he entered combat on me, and my hand was Assisted Kamehameha and Triple Heroic Sphere. I got beat real bad that game. But I was in any of my games yesterday at the tournament, I never was out of one. Even in top 8, he was level 4 by the time I got off level 1, and I still probably got him down to 17 life cards before he spine kicked me in one. But yeah, the fact that the deck is never out of a game, I don't feel it has any bad matchups. It can just being able to play a long game allows the better player to generally edge out. So I feel like I can really lean hard on my skill level and my decision making and comfortableness with the deck, that I'll make the right plays.
Cool. All right, well, thanks for joining us today, Azarith, and good job at the tournament yesterday. Top 8 is certainly a good accomplishment for this deck, and hope everyone, that we've seen many different flavors of Drawku, and this is just another one to throw on the pile. So if you like Drawku, if you like Saiyan, and you like doing big, powerful life card damage without your opponent being able to respond much, try this deck out.
Yeah, any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I love talking about Saiyan.